Welcome back to EPL After Dark Hours, the only place where Premier League drama gets analyzed like a crime scene and roasted like it owes us money. If you're new here, hit subscribe, because we don't do boring match recaps. We do Big Six chaos, tactical tea, villain arcs, and the kind of football storylines that turn your group chat into a courtroom. And today, we're asking a question that would send the entire league into a panic spiral. What would happen if Manchester City lost Pep Guardiola? Not a bad run of form, Pep. Not he's suspended for yelling at the fourth official. Pep. Gone, out, finished, turtlenecks packed, tactics board, abandoned like evidence. Because if Pep leaves City, it's not just a manager change. It's like unplugging the main server and telling the team, good luck, lads. So buckle up, because we're breaking down 10 things that would happen to City, and how the rest of the Big Six would react like sharks who just smelled blood in the water. Imagine you wake up, open your phone, and see the headline: Pep Guardiola leaves Manchester City. Not taking a break, not mutual agreement, not he'll be back after he finishes rewatching Moneyball for the 900th time. Gone. Finished. Packed his turtlenecks, left the tactics board like it's a crime scene, and instantly the Premier League doesn't feel like a title race anymore. It's Darwin. It feels like someone just turned the difficulty from nightmare to normal, and every rival fan is blinking like, wait, is this what oxygen tastes like? Because Pep at City isn't just a manager. He's the operating system, the Wi-Fi, the reason a right back can casually appear in midfield like he's teleporting. So what would actually happen if City lost Pep? Not vibes, not Twitter fan fiction. Real ripple effects. Let's break it down into 10 things that would hit Manchester City FC and the entire Big Six, like a last-minute equalizer in stoppage time. 1. City's identity crisis would start immediately. Pep leaves, and City's first problem isn't who's next. It's, what are we even? Because Pep didn't just coach a team, he built a football religion, positional play, structure, automatons with elite first touches. City without Pep is like an iPhone without iOS. Sure, it's still shiny, but why is it vibrating in Latin? And don't get it twisted. City's squad is insanely talented, but Pep's system is the glue that turns great players into, we just completed 47 passes to score a tap-in. Without him, the team has to answer terrifying questions like, do we still build from the back every single time, even when the other team is pressing like they're chasing rent money? Do fullbacks still invert? Or do they, defend like fullbacks? Are we still obsessed with controlling games? Or do we accept occasional chaos like normal humans? And while City's trying to remember who they are, the dressing room is about to find out who's really been running the show. 2. The dressing room would split into two species. Pep leaving would create a quiet but real divide. Group A. We are City, we adapt, we move. Group B. I joined for Pep. So who are you people? Because Pep isn't just tactics, he's authority. He's the guy who can tell a world-class player, you're benched, and they reply, yes, chef. When that presence disappears, leadership dynamics change overnight. Suddenly, players aren't just competing for minutes, they're competing for influence. And if the next manager doesn't command instant respect, you get more public frustration, more not sure where I fit, more passive-aggressive interviews where someone says, we must improve, 19 times without blinking. City have been a machine for so long that a tiny crack becomes a trend. And trends become headlines. And speaking of cracks, Pep leaving doesn't just change the team, it changes the boardroom too. Because now City's transfer plan might lose its final boss. 3. City's transfer strategy would become less surgical, more shopping spree. With Pep, City recruitment has often felt like, we need a left-footed midfielder who can receive between lines under pressure, turn on the half space, and pass through an atom. And then they just Find one. But without Pep, you risk a classic post-legend move, buying stars instead of buying fits. Not because City don't have smart people upstairs, they do. But Pep has been the filter, the football brain that says, great player, but not for my system. A new manager means new preferences, different profiles, different priorities, different type of winger, midfielder, fullback. And that's how super squads become expensive jigsaw puzzles with 3 missing pieces and a picture of a horse on the box when you're building a castle. Now, imagine you're a City superstar watching all this unfold, and you ask yourself the most dangerous question in football. Do I still want to be here? 4. At least one big-name player would flirt with the exit. This is the part rival fans start rubbing their hands like cartoon villains. Because when a legendary manager leaves, it's not just end of an era. It's an opportunity for players to reassess. And reassess is football language for, my agent is about to become the most active human on earth. Not everyone would bolt, but at least one major player would look around like, am I still in the best project? Or did the project just become a group assignment? Especially players who thrive under Pep specifically, players whose roles are basically custom built in the system. And that's where the big 6 circle like sharks. Liverpool FC sniffing opportunity. Arsenal FC thinking this is our moment. Manchester United FC dreaming of poetic revenge. Chelsea FC ready to bid £90 million just to feel something. Tottenham Hotspur FC honestly, just happy to be included. But let's get even spicier. Pep leaving wouldn't just change City's squad. It would change the entire league's psychology. Because every rival suddenly stops fearing the monster under the bed. 5. The Big 6 would stop playing City like they're inevitable. Right now, even when teams beat City, they play them like they're defusing a bomb. One wrong move and boom, 3-0. Possession 78%, and your goalkeeper needs therapy. Pep's aura changes how teams approach games. They sit deeper, they play safer, they overthink, they treat a draw like a moral victory and a win like a miracle. Without Pep, that psychological advantage fades. Not instantly, but it starts. And the Big 6 especially would become more aggressive. Press higher, take more risks, believe they can dominate City instead of survive them. Because managers and players are human. They feel fear, they feel doubt, they feel, oh no, not again. Pep leaving is like the final boss stepping out of the arena. And if you think the league would change on the pitch, wait until you see what happens off it. Because the media would eat this like a halftime buffet. 6, the media narrative would explode and City would feel it. The second Pep leaves, the headlines won't be transition or rebuild. They'll be, the empire falls. Every draw becomes a crisis. Every loss becomes a documentary. Every slightly sloppy first touch becomes evidence that the Pep era was holding everything together with tactical duct tape. And the worst part? That noise seeps into the season. Fans get edgy, players get questioned. The new manager gets judged against a ghost. Because replacing Pep isn't like replacing a manager, it's like replacing gravity. But the real pressure cooker? Europe. Because the moment Pep leaves, everyone starts asking the question City hates most. 7. City's Champions League expectations would get weirdly heavier. You'd think losing Pep would lower expectations in Europe. Nope. It would warp them. Because now it becomes, can City do it without Pep? Was it him? Was it the club? Was it both? Every Champions League night turns into a legacy trial. And if City stumble early, it becomes, see, Pep was the cheat code. But if City do well, it becomes, wow, maybe City are bigger than Pep. Either way, the pressure doubles, because now it's not just about winning, it's about proving something. And that leads perfectly into the next problem. Who replaces him? Because City can't just hire a vibes guy and hope the football sorts itself out. 8. The next manager would be judged in 30 minutes. Whoever follows Pep is walking into the hardest job in England, not because the squad is bad, because the standards are insane. Imagine your first match that you win 2-0. People go, meh, not the same. You draw 1-1. People go, it's over. You lose once. People start trending hashtags like it's a national emergency. The replacement needs 3 things: tactical credibility, man management authority, skin thicker than a winter jacket in Stoke. And if the hire is even slightly wrong stylistically, if City go from controlled dominance to messy transitions, fans will act like someone replaced fine dining with gas station sushi. But here's the sneaky part. Even if City hire well, there's one thing Pep leaves behind that no manager can instantly recreate. 9. City's automations would take time to reboot. Pep's City play like they share a brain. Movements are synchronized, rotations are automatic, passing lanes appear like the pitch is being drawn in real time. That doesn't happen because players are smart. It happens because Pep drills it until it becomes instinct. When he leaves, some of those patterns remain. Sure, but over time, without his constant correction, the edges blur. It's like a band after the conductor leaves. They can still play the songs, but the timing starts drifting, and drifting is all a title race needs. Now, for the final one, because this is the big dramatic question every Big Six fan secretly wants answered. 10. The Premier League title race would become pure chaos. Pep leaving doesn't guarantee City collapse. Let's be clear, the club is too strong, the squad too deep, the infrastructure too elite, but it does make the league more open. Instead of, can anyone catch City? It becomes, who can stay consistent the longest while everyone else self-destructs? And that's when the Big Six turns into a chaotic reality show. Arsenal FC believing it's destiny. Liverpool FC smelling blood and pressing like demons. Manchester United FC trying to rewrite history with pure emotion. Chelsea FC buying 14 new players to celebrate. Tottenham Hotspur FC doing Tottenham things. And City? City trying to prove they're not just Pep's masterpiece, but a dynasty. That's the real twist. Pep leaving wouldn't end the story. It would start the messiest, most entertaining new chapter the league could possibly get. If you enjoyed this, do me a favor. Drop a comment with who you think City would hire next, and be honest. Would they get better, worse, or just different? And if you want more Big Six chaos explained like it's a crime investigation, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, because the Premier League never sleeps. It just refreshes the timeline.